Davi-tech-media. Subscribe to Davi-tech-media.
Are we ready?
We have a good audience, we can go.
Ichibemba chitila amano ya lubuli yesanga mwalwa. Ichibemba chitila amano ya lubuli yesanga mwalwa. Elo kabili wakwebe mfo ya kwanoko mutanji. Wakwebe mfo ya kwanoko mutanji. Amano nayo mambulwa. Amano nayo mambulwa. Yafuma muifwesa ya muchulu. When you look at all these Bemba idioms, they are telling us one thing. And that one thing that they are telling us is that it is very, very important to accept advice. It is extremely important to take advice and to think through the advice even before you respond. I have been following the sentiments that are being made as regards the increase of fuel prices from 22 kwacha to 26.6 kwacha per liter. What is the implication of this increment? The implication of this increment is that all prices of commodities will shoot up by about 30 to 35%. It simply means the bag of meal will go up, the bag of a pocket of sugar will go up, cooking oil prices will go up, transport costs for individuals or human beings and for goods will also go up. Meaning, therefore, that the cost of living is going to go up by about 30%. We do sympathize with those in government, and listen very carefully, my dear brothers in government, the UPND. Running a country is not making profits. Running a country is not about making profits or making your balance sheet look good or only wanting to have micro parameters in conformity with the expected international standards. But running a country is about improving the living standards of the people. In improving the living standards of the people, what is more cardinal is that people must be able to meet basic needs, more especially food. Because without food, clean water, no man can survive. Now, if your citizens are failing to afford basic food, basic essential commodities, then you must check your leadership. You must think, why am I a leader if the people cannot afford basic commodities? We know that this increase in fuel has been necessitated by a lot of factors. One of them is the war between Russia and Ukraine, which has made oil prices at the international community to shoot up. I have said, and I want to say it again, the situation that has presented itself is an extraordinary situation. It's not an ordinary situation. Under normal circumstances, ordinary situation, people can say, no, we cannot bring back subsidies because we have to build the economy, or probably we have to conform to some required benchmarks by maybe people that we are borrowing money from, like the IMF, in a normal circumstance. But what we're being faced with is not a normal situation. Is what we can classify as an emergency situation. The people of Zambia, their living standards have been going down. The people of Zambia's disposable income has been going down. The civil servants, i.e. the teachers, the policeman, the nurse, the miners, and almost everybody who works have had their salaries or earnings stagnant for a long period of time. But the essential commodities are going up. Now this has even been made worse by the increase in fuel prices. It is against this background that some of us are saying, let's look for money and subsidize the price of fuel. Please, those in government, don't be arrogant. Don't overlook advice. That's why I said, amano ya lubuli yesanga mwalwa. Iyo palakwa chilalwa amu maso ngachipone noku amu ikata kwa mkoshi ngani muchimfia na waku makali olubulu na lubwa. This is what has happened to a lot of governments. By the time you realize you are already out of government. Like I've said, we don't want you to fail UPND. But please, abapena umfilen kwa bantuluse. Umfilen kwa bantuluse. Subsidize the price of fuel. And get your cadres out of this equation. You see, the way government has behaved in the last 5 days, it's like you are trivializing the issue of price of fuel, the increase in price of fuel. How can you honestly be allowing cadres at the IPS for Lusaka province going to address the nation about the price of fuel? You go and get the chairman of energy in your party to come and address the issue of fuel. You go and get Mr. Noah Onkoma to come and address the issue of increasing price of fuel. Don't make mistakes that other people have made in the past. Separate the government from the party. This issue has to do with the government, and we want communication to come from the government and not the party. Statements from the party are just making it worse and making you look disorganized. Because when you look at the statement that young man gave IPS Lusaka province, what Mr. Nkoma said and what the chairman of energy said, uncoordinated statements. Mr. Nkoma says, no, we have to fulfill the conditions of the IMF. The other one says, no, our manifesto says we shall charge cost-reflective tariffs. The other young man says something else. Come on, UPND, you can do better than that. You can do better than that. Where is the chief government spokesperson in all this equation? Where is the official statement from government in all this equation? We don't want what was going on in the past, where, you know, we are saying let's stop cadalism. Cadalism is not only insulting or what, but it's cadres, political party members wanting to speak on behalf of government. That is also a form of cadalism. My dear brother President HH, you can do better. Stop the cadres from commenting on important national issues. Let these statements come from the chief government spokesperson or the minister in charge of that particular ministry. You are trivializing the issue of the suffering of the people as a result of fuel prices. And this is not auguring well with the citizenry. Like I've said, we don't want you to fail. But apapena, we plead with you, twampapata, umfileni kwa bantuluse. Ichwemba chitila, chirifye, chifimfyo mkonso. Chirifye chifimfyo mkonso, chisesa chitontolitomfwa. Elo echiwe mala kabili chitila, umwaiche, ekalishe luanya. Umwaiche, ekalishe luanya. Lekecho, chitechi, iyo taule umfwa. Dilalomba cha kusanga elo waikala and chitachidia ngana chalifi. You can do better, UPND. Please subsidize the price of fuel, because what has started happening, I was walking around Luansha yesterday and the other day in Kitwe. What people are saying and the way people are complaining is not too good for a government. The government is supposed to be the father. And when an extraordinary situation presents itself, please make extraordinary decisions. Look for money, like I advised in my previous discourse, that look, there are certain things you've budgeted for in the budget that are not a matter of life and death. Could if you become budget, after 2 years, the country will not negatively be affected. But ichichan sala as a result of ukulundo mutengo wa fuel, abantu balafa kunsala. Mukampeni mwalenda na ka plastic ka cooking oil na ka pakata ka wunga. Amutinga tuwaisa ifwe pakata ya wunga na kaka plastiki ka cooking oil takuwa kawe abantu baka nashitama 5 liters. Nomba ifyo mutengo wa mafuta wa nina, ifyo mitengo ya lawe ya saladi ya unga na pakata ine idata kwabe abantu balambo kulya katuishinga nga fyumbu nga bakulali emishila mweba mnyinane mweba li government ine nde mumfilo oluse. Don't be capitalists. Don't run the country like a business. Strictly like a business where you want to see profits. In running the country, you must balance between, keeping your macro parameters in check and also the living standards of the people. Nampapata, subsidize fuel. Abantu bapemu ineko, abantu balechula. Lesa engamikila mumitima yenu. Mumfile kwa abantu use. Imo mula forenda meshingi ba minister, ba president ba shitla be fiance. Elo bwali ya mwachi wandi bwali ya presidential affairs, presidential aid for press. Yo shipeni fe mwe bantu. Abena Zambia bali shipishe imikwingi no kushipa bala shipa. But this is an extraordinary situation. Please, because ngata muchite subsidize. Next month, fuel ikaba kuma 33 or even more than 33. Abantu balaika na shani. You are in those offices because of these same poor people who vote for you. Umfile ni kwa abantu use. Bana mayo wa mwashitisho musalu limbia hotel 400 kwacha. Mulamwine order price miskiste apanga ko 40 kwacha. Ayashita moka kapaka takawunga ashita na ka cooking oil nombanga bala afilu omulando wa mitengo bala abantu bala ya kwisa nampapata ba church I know, ba government I know, mweba mnyinane na mwitemi kuitatu umfile ni kwa abantu uruse wesheni mutengo wa mafuta by subsidizing. Kagame uko nalanda bala subsidize, ba South Africa bala subsidize, ba America imocha shupa shani usheba IMF wa kulatu wefya kuteke chalo fyo bamkoma balelanda. No, by June we will be done with the IMF, things will be right. The IMF program is 3 years program. That money will be disbursed in 3 years. It's not in June. Elo bufina mweke obufi mwilabe pa bantu kwata batontonkanya nani wa miebele bankomati IMF program will end in June. Please do the right thing. Subsidize the fuel, cushion the poor from the imminent sufferings and anger that is going to besiege this country. I thank you.
Davi-tech-media. Subscribe to Davi-tech-media. Davi-tech-media. Subscribe to Davi-tech-media.